Dating times are tough in the United States. It is a literal jungle out there. I don't want to disparage my countrywomen by any means, but I also want to be honest about my dating pool experience in the United States and what was available to me at that time period. But first, a little bit about me. At the time of the start of this story, I was 55 years old, employed, father of one 20-something-year-old who had a job and was in college. My time was mostly taken up by my teaching job, which has fantastic hours, and then coming home to research how I wanted to start preparing for my retirement. I dated here and there, but was finding my dating pool to be very shallow. I'm a regular-looking guy. I've been athletic my whole life and have stayed in shape and regularly would get mistaken for being a decade or more younger than I am. My only debt at the time was a mortgage that was nearly paid off, and I had an almost perfect credit score. Even my dog and my daughter found me fun to be around, and all I was hoping to find in a female was someone in my age group that could match my qualities at least a 75% scale or more. I searched and searched, but it seemed impossible to find what I perceived to be my realistic minimum expectations for a date. My possible dating options generally still had school-aged children in the home, or they had no job, or they had no transportation, or they weren't able to walk around the park without having to stop. They hate their exes but communicate with them frequently. They were also saving up for their next sleeve tattoo and wanted me to remember their pronouns and the pronouns of their children. As it appeared, I would not date anyone who wanted to date me. Eventually, I gave up. Literally every Saturday, I would stop at the carryout and pick up a six-pack and sit at home and drink beer and watch either car shows or Alaska shows. This went on for about 2 years, and my daughter would come over every Sunday and watch the TLC show 90 Day Fiancé with me. What a train wreck that show still is. It became even more of a train wreck when one Saturday I brought home 2 six-packs, watched a 90 Day Fiancé marathon, and I woke up Sunday with a headache and 275 notifications from women all across the globe from an international dating site that allowed drunk, lonely American men to sign up and pay the fee for a 30-day membership. I was horrified at first, but I decided to make the best of it and scroll through a few profiles. I then made the decision to wade through the 275 messages I had received on my drunken profile creation. I hadn't even filled it out completely, so I went back and decided to be 100% serious and honest about my life and my expectations for a relationship. I'm previously married and had decided not to play any games whatsoever, and maybe, if I'm lucky, lightning would strike and I would find a suitable companion. I entered my true weight and height, as well as posting unfiltered pictures of myself in regular clothes, full body length, doing nothing to hide my imperfections. I stated that I was looking for a long-term relationship leading to marriage, and I wasn't looking for anyone raising children, as I had already lived that portion of my life. Then it came to put what I wanted in a possible match. I came up with female, petite, height, weight appropriate, no young kids, 35 to 50 years old, English speaking, employed, willing to work, willing to relocate to the U.S., willing to be partners in love and finances. I didn't want to limit myself by picking certain countries or skin tones or hairstyles, etc. Once I finished this task, I felt that I was being fair and dove into the first message, and then the next 274 were waiting. This was a daunting task that was going to take a few hours, so I devised a system. I was going to stick to my expectations to see if they really read my profile or were just hitting every new profile looking to scam the new guy. My first stop was to look at their profile picture to see if they were at least reasonably average or more. If so, I would read their profile. If I was way out of their age bracket or they were way out of mine, delete. If they have small children at home or were separated, delete. No job or career, delete. If they passed that first step, I would read their message carefully. I know making the first move is difficult, so if they made a reasonable effort to get my attention, I would write back a quick message referencing something in their profile to let them know I had read their profile. I messaged back very quickly those in opposite time zones. I would have to wait 12 hours for a reply for those in opposite time zones. By the end of the day, I had narrowed some choices down to about 40 profiles that emailed me back and appeared interested. I thought I was on the right path and would have my future wife picked out within the first week. That is until I woke up for work Monday to a great big shock. When I woke up in the morning after wading through my first haul of 275 interested women from around the globe, I was shocked to see that I had another 250 new messages waiting on me. I won't bore you with my vetting process again, except to tell you that by the end of the next weekend, I had been through about 1,200 separate profiles. Throughout the course of the week, I had those 1,200 narrowed down to about 200 that I had messaged several times, but occasionally another 4 or 5 messages would roll in and I would look at them. I was spending about 3 hours a day looking at profiles and responding to messages. I felt like I had just started a new part-time job with all the hours it took to make a legitimate run at a relationship. I had started this process at the very beginning of August, and by the first week of my 4-week $30 membership, I had approximately 200 reasonably attractive women and what I thought might be good matches for me. One thing to clear up. The reason I paid for a membership, besides the fact I was making decisions fueled by alcohol, is that you can get messages from all women on the site for free, but you can't message them back without a membership. Another week went by and some women found their way out for whatever reason. Maybe they found a better looking guy or a guy closer to their country, or they lied on their profile so they didn't want to have to explain themselves, and I also found my way out from several message pals for various reasons as well. So by the end of week 2, I really narrowed it down to about 40 women that I wanted to dig a little deeper with. And so I would send them a recent photo of myself out hiking or at work, and I would ask them for the same. About half of them obliged, and the other half were probably using fake profile pictures, so they found their way out. Going into week 3, I had realized that I had messaged women from about 10 to 15 different countries, but there was starting to be a trend. I was spending the majority of my time and energy on maybe 2 prospects from Russia or Ukraine, a few from Thailand, and then the rest from the Philippines. I had never even considered any of these countries, as I have only traveled to most of our 50 United States, Canada, Mexico, and the Bahamas, but never to a different hemisphere. So I had no frame of reference to the Philippines, nor do I ever think I've seen a Filipina in person. So week 3 found me wanting to take the next logical step and FaceTime with the final 20 women who were still interested. I reached out to each one individually to set up an appointment to FaceTime 9 of them. Admitted they couldn't speak English and were using a translator app. The other 10 or so said yes to a video chat. I had my work cut out for me because we were in week 3 of a 4-week Find a Relationship challenge. I had never made a video call in my life, but I pulled out my iPhone and made contact with my first prospect. To say it was awkward would be an understatement. As I related to you in episode 2, I was making a big move to finally have some FaceTime to FaceTime interaction with some of the finalists from my worldwide dating search, which really was just becoming a search of the Philippines. So to prepare for these one-on-one discussions with mainly Filipinas, I jumped on YouTube and searched dating in the Philippines. I began watching every video that seemed reasonable to a guy that had no clue about the Filipino culture or way of life. I expected it to be more like an Asian Canada than an Asian Mexico, which were my only two frames of international reference. Looking back, I still watch some of the vloggers from back then, but I quickly found out many of the vloggers were full of BS and just guessing to make content. I am really glad I made viewing YouTube videos a priority, as it came in handy throughout my video calls. The Philippines is 14 hours ahead of my time in the fall season, so you will either be video calling them when they first wake up, or they will be calling you when you first wake up. This will be an important fact that will lead to my ultimate relationship choice. I found out that a large percentage of the Filipino people are taught English in high school and college, so it would be more likely that I would have success in communicating there. Looks are important, but I'm a guy who enjoys great conversation and a sense of humor, so speaking English would be high on my list. The first young lady I called was out of my age group. I said I wouldn't do it, but she was so darn pretty. Very petite, shoulder-length dark black hair, blue eyes, which is very uncommon there, and beautiful light brown skin, and I enjoyed chatting over Messenger with her. So Anna was my first call. When she showed up on screen, she looked very young, as most Filipinas do, so I verified her age at 25. As I learned from my research on YouTube, she was strikingly pretty and very shy. She spoke enough English to make it interesting. We chatted for about 10 minutes, and I couldn't wait to talk to her again. I repeated this video calling circle every morning and every evening of week 3 with all of the remaining contenders from the dating site, but my mind was mostly on Anna. Anna was a housekeeper for a wealthy family, 6 days a week, making $5 a day. She said she lived with her friend in a very small house, which was later revealed to be more of a shack. I didn't care. She had me with her cute smile and shy demeanor, and we talked twice a day into week 4. At the beginning of week 4, I felt we had a real connection, and Anna confessed that she really liked me, but had to tell me the truth.
My name Anna. I live in General Trios, Cavite in my friend's small house. I work every day but not Sunday because of church. I am family maid. Every day I clean, do laundry by hand and cook for rich family in city. I am away from my house 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. I paid 250 peso day. I am 25 years and I had 2 Filipino boyfriend who cheat me, and I want to find older foreign who will have good mind and good income to help me. If I am lucky to marry and leave my bad situation here. I doing like my friend and join the app to search a foreign. I chat men, but I work too much, so not easy. I see a older foreign on app and send chat and we talk so much. He is very kind when he talk. He never ask for no clothes pictures. I think I really like him, and for weeks I tell him. His name is Rob from United States. I know foreign from America are all rich, so I feel good he chat me. He say I am very pretty and sweet. My mind start to feel hurt because I hold secret from him. I must tell him my secret.
What could she tell me that could possibly dissuade me from this beautiful, kind-hearted young lady was beyond me, until she turned her camera around to show me her 2-year-old daughter and newborn baby. I was sad. I wished her well and told her that I wasn't in that place in my life anymore and didn't want to lead her on any further. She understood, and we never video chatted again. So now in week 4, I'm down to 3 prospects to continue on with until my membership runs out on the 31st. So I make my video call to Samantha to see if she is the one. As I said at the end of episode 3, I reluctantly moved on from Anna and her 2 small children and was getting ready to continue video chatting with Samantha. Samantha was 30 years old, and if you are familiar with the Filipino culture, a 30-year-old woman is pretty unwanted and considered an old maid. Samantha was pretty good at English and had a good sense of humor and laughed a lot. Her personality was infectious, and she was easy on the eyes. She was petite, had waist-length straight black hair that shimmered in the sunlight, and had the same smooth light brown skin as many in her country did. I always had trouble ending the video call with her as she was so engaging. She said she had a medical issue when she was young that prevented her from having children, so I felt I was in the clear on that issue. Samantha would call me when she was out at the local bar/restaurant in her small town that had live music or karaoke, and she was out with her whole family. She would talk to me and then go off to the dance floor and dance with her sisters or sing karaoke while leaving the video chat on for me to watch her. It was fun to see what her life was like in her small town. As much as I liked talking to her, I still had 2 more Filipinas to chat with regularly and get to know via video chat, but Samantha was the clear number 1. After I would hang up with Samantha, I would call Lovey. That is her real given name. Lovey lived in the province. Lovey was 29 years old and had wavy, dyed brown shoulder-length hair, big brown eyes, full lips, and a well-endowed chest that you wouldn't normally expect on such a petite woman. We were chatting regularly, but sometimes her phone would mess up and she would only be able to message and sometimes be able to send pictures. I understood because phones are a huge expense there, and they tended to keep their phones longer than their useful electronic life cycle. I continued to chat regularly with Samantha and Lovey nearly every day and every night, and occasionally someone from the dating site would pop in and video chat with me for a few days. My usual routine consisted of a video chat with Samantha at 6 p.m. my time, and then she would be off to work at 6:45, which would be 8:45 a.m. her time. I would then video chat Lovey at 7 p.m. or message her if her phone wasn't working, and then she would be off to work around 7:30. I would eat my dinner and I would check my dating site messages, but they were really drying up by then, and that was okay because I was busy trying to make my final decision anyways. My August 31st paid subscription was nearly expired, as it was August 29th, and I was checking my messages and only had one new message. Both Samantha and Lovey were not available to chat, so I opened the message. It was just a simple, "Hi." Not much effort from this contestant. But being true to my system and a little boredom, I read the profile. 36 years old. Bingo. 4 feet 11 inches tall. Bingo. Teacher for 14 years. Bingo. Master's degree. Bingo. Owns a small house. Bingo. No children? Jackpot. I could not believe my good fortune. But then I looked at her pictures. Last time I told you that I had found the holy grail of Filipina dating site profiles. That is, until I saw her pictures. She had several pictures to view. They were very odd in that something didn't add up. Some pictures were pictures of pictures. Some she looked at a different weight than others. In some, her face looked weird at a certain angle. Now, when I tell you in the looks department, Anna was a solid 8. Samantha was also an 8. And good old Lovey was an 8.5. I'm dead serious because this new woman with the great profile was a 5, if I'm to be kind. I was running out of paid days on the site, and it was getting late, so I felt a strong push from reading her profile to answer back. I could see she was online, and egotistically, I felt like she would respond immediately to this great catch that was me. And I felt like chatting, so I shot her back a message and said, "Hello, I see you are a teacher. So am I. What grade do you teach?" I sat there expectantly waiting on her immediate reply and for her to shower me with compliments and tell me how she had been waiting her whole life for someone like me to sweep her off her feet. But 30 minutes later, nothing. An hour later, nothing. 2 hours later in bedtime, nothing. Oh well, I thought, it's her loss. I woke up the next morning expecting a 5-paragraph essay from the teacher entitled, "How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count the Ways." My inbox was empty except for the random 63-year-old widow with a hockey smile looking for love and a cute girl promising me naked pictures if I would just send her $20 US via Western Union. I passed on both opportunities. Man, how could I have been so drawn to this teacher's profile and then be so rudely ignored with just 36 hours left in my paid membership? I moved on to my usual chatting with Samantha and Lovey, and I was having a great time chatting, knowing I would soon get to make a decision. In my past dalliances, I had dated 2 women at the same time more than once when I was young and handsome, but that turned out to be nothing more but being secretive and looking over your shoulder, constantly trying not to get caught. So I knew that for me to be all in, I would soon have to make a real choice. Knowing that this paid subscription would be over sooner than later, I invited both Samantha and Lovey over to my Facebook page so I could continue chatting on Messenger for free. They both made their way over before the 0-hour paid deadline expired. As I normally did, I went to work, and when I had a chance to check my messages, I did, and once again, it was another really old Filipina wearing a too small Chanel t-shirt and trying to look sexy, and a ladyboy wondering if I was curious to look under her black evening gown. I declined both offers and was disappointed that teacher lady still shunned my advances, but I just had to know, so I sent her a message that I was out of time on the site, and if she wanted to talk to me, she would be forced to come to Facebook, and I gave her my profile name. August 31st came and went, and I was now chatting Samantha and Lovey on Messenger chat, but teacher lady had not left a message on the dating site as my $30 paid profile came to a close. But all was not lost. Samantha had just had a professional-looking photo shoot done the previous week, and now she had the digital proofs back. Your typical nice clothes on, flattering poses, showing off her attributes and hiding her imperfections. The photographer pushed her to a solid 9 in the photo world, but then she sent me a single photo separately and asked me the question, am I ugly? The picture had soft sunlight in the background that flooded everything around her. She was sitting cross-legged in a park on well-manicured grass, looking up at the camera with her lips seductively painted red and a beautiful straight hair behind one ear and the rest cascading over her far shoulder, forming a shimmering black wall from her chin to her lap. The photo was taken from the side, and she was wearing a sheer white sleeveless top, no bra, and exposing just enough of her left breast to keep it classy, but to also enough to make this old man weak in the knees. I think I had all the information I needed right then to make my decision and contemplate a marriage proposal. That is, until I opened a message from Lovey, and you will not believe what she was proposing. With Samantha and her fantastic photo shoot fresh on my mind, I moved over to a message from Lovey. Lovey said that her phone was on its last legs, and she seemed to be only getting some of my messages, and she didn't have video chatting anymore because the camera wouldn't engage. So if she doesn't respond, don't be mad, because it is her out-of-date phone's fault, not hers. She wanted to keep on messaging longer that day because it might be the last time she can communicate with me before the phone completely went out. We messaged for about an hour longer than usual, and the service was intermittent until she sent a photo and said, "Please look at this." I could read the writing, but the photo came through blank. I messaged her that I couldn't see the photo, but she didn't reply. I waited 10 minutes and said, "Hello," but no response. I felt a little helpless and started to miss her within the hour, but there was nothing I could do. I woke up the next morning and quickly checked to see if Lovey's picture had come through, but no luck and no new message from her. So I chatted up to beautiful Samantha and had a great discussion with her about her pictures and that someday I would like to visit the Philippines and maybe meet her. She thought that was a grand idea and was so happy that she sent me 2 more classy semi-provocative photos from her tasteful photo shoot. I must have been really feeling the connection because our 45-minute discussion flew by in a heartbeat. I carefully moved her photos over to my iPhone picture storage for safekeeping, and I must admit I felt like a brand new man with Samantha firmly in my corner. Times had changed in the U.S., and I believe so did the women available to date me. So you can understand why I was on cloud nine when I went from 0 prospects to not one, but 2 beautiful women hanging on my every word and anxiously awaiting my every message. Speaking of messages, a few days later I had a message from an unfamiliar name in my messenger inbox. Lilette was requesting to message me. I went to check the validity of this message, and lo and behold, it was the teacher lady. At this point, I was heavily invested in Samantha and Lovey, and in my mind, I'm like, the nerve of this woman to assume I saved a place at the video chat table for her. I mean, after all, she had not responded to me in almost 2 weeks. Does she not know how in demand I had become? So I opened the message to give her a piece of my mind, and she had acted as if she hadn't put me on hold for 10 days and just answered my one question and proceeded to ask me questions about my employer, about my living situation, about my education, about my adult child, and about my intentions should she entertain chatting me. I was a little teed off. But I went ahead and answered all her questions only because she had such a perfect profile, and I wanted to catch her lying on her profile. But before I could continue my passive-aggressive approach, Lovey popped back into my messages after several days of silence, and I couldn't click on her message fast enough. Even better news, I could finally see the mysterious photo she sent me a week ago, and it totally wasn't what I was expecting. I had really been missing my messages back and forth with Lovey. She hadn't sent a new message since the time she had been expressing that her old phone was intermittent at best and couldn't video chat anymore, and couldn't send pictures very well. I missed getting pictures from her because, as I said, she was a very attractive Filipina and stood out from most not only because of her beauty, but because you couldn't help but notice how well endowed she was in her chest area. She never showed any cleavage or anything, so it wasn't like she was trying to show off. But when she wore a normal t-shirt, as most Filipinas I chatted with did, it was a focal point you could not ignore. But I digress. After over a week of no messages from Lovey's dilapidated phone, here she was, in the flesh, on my phone, with what I was sure would be a profession of her love and a description of her life being desperately boring because she missed chatting with me. I hurriedly punched the notification and waited what seemed like minutes for the mystery picture to load. As it slowly pixelated, I began to remember her other photos she sent prior, usually in running shorts and a t-shirt that accentuated her assets with her one-room, unfinished, cinder block house wall and unmade bed in the background. That may sound unappealing at first, but I felt that because I knew her personality deep down, I could see things in the way she stood, or the way she held her hands, or the way she was smiling or smirking. I looked forward to those innocent pictures from a beautiful girl. And as this mystery picture finished loading, my mind was racing with anticipation of what hidden messages her body language held for my eyes only. Then the mystery picture came into focus. My heart was literally racing, my breathing was heavy, and the mystery picture revealed itself. It was an off-brand phone. A picture of an off-brand phone with no explanation. Did she get a new phone and wanted me to know that she was doing everything she could to get it set up and get online back to our deeply connected relationship? I just sat there waiting and nothing else happened. Anyway, it was time for my daily morning call to Samantha, so I mentally switched gears and waited for her to buzz into the chat. Nothing happened. I tried again. Nothing. Well, maybe she had to leave early for work. I left her a sweet message and went about my work day. I really couldn't concentrate on work, which was okay because it was very slow and my mind was trying to figure out what Lovey's cryptic message meant. I ate my mid-morning snack and I got a messenger notification and I perked up. I know it sounds weird, but after so long of feeling neglected by the opposite sex and then having various attractive women vying for your attention, you kind of get addicted to the rush of the messenger notification. My mind went first to Samantha. I was sure she had finally saw I called and wanted to assure me she was okay, but couldn't talk due to work restrictions, or maybe it was Lovey telling me she got her new phone set up. But no, it was teacher Lilette. I reluctantly opened the message and she was almost businesslike, commenting on each answer to her earlier interrogation and then giving me some impertinent details that coincided with my answers and to her life as well. No smirky body language photo, no classy, racy glamour shot, just the facts, ma'am. I begrudgingly answered her questions and made some small talk about something I saw on YouTube about her country, and before I could finish, I had a message request from another Filipina-looking profile that I had never seen before. So I cut short my messaging to teacher Lilette, and I went to see if this message held something different. And different it was. Out of boredom, I had been replying to a message from teacher Lilette when a new message request popped up. So I popped out from Lilette and popped into my request to see a new person was sending me a message. The username was Angel, and Angel had also sent me a friend request. So I jumped over to Facebook to see what she was all about. She lived into the province and it looked somewhat remote. There were pictures of her with family members working in a small rice field and harvesting coconuts and a big cow-looking animal called a carabao. Angel looked different than my current love interests, Samantha and Lovey. She looked unrehearsed, if that makes sense. No makeup, no hair products, no clothing that would stand out. Just a farm girl living her cultural heritage life naturally and deep in the province. Angel's Facebook profile said she was 31 years old, a high school graduate, no kids, single, and obviously hardworking. There was something about a hardworking, naturally pretty woman that appealed to this farm boy. Kind of like an instant connection to my past. I knew what she was doing in every picture, and I knew the level of strength and perseverance it took to live that life on a daily basis. So I headed back to Messenger to answer her message request, but on the way, a notification from Lovey buzzed in. If you have been following along, Lovey has been absent due to her phone malfunctioning because it is wore out and out of date. Her last mystery message was just a photo of a phone with no context or comment. But first, I hadn't heard from Samantha in about a week of me sending her daily messages, checking in to see what happened or where she was, but to no reply. This would more or less be my last shot at making an effort because I was starting to feel ghosted by Samantha. Number one, I didn't want to appear to be begging for attention, and since it was clear she moved on, I really didn't want to waste her time or mine when I obviously have other hot prospects in Lovey and now Angel. So I go over to Lovey's message thread and it shows she has attached a picture. I tap on the photo hoping it is not another picture of her phone. One of the problems with her phone is that it pixelated while downloading pictures, probably due to the outdated technology. But as the new blurry picture pixelated, I could see the familiar cinder block wall as the backdrop and the bottom of the bed in the background, and then it looked like Lovey kneeling on her bed. I could see she was wearing what looked like her usual light blue running shorts, her shoulder-length hair coming into focus. My mind raced to the thought that she wanted me to read her smile and her body language in a picture taken just for my eyes. Surprise! The picture was for my eyes only, but it wasn't a set of teeth she had on display. Just to recap, Samantha has ghosted me much to my displeasure. Teacher Lilette was an okay, friendly chatmate, Angel has jumped into the mix from the province, and I just got a very non-mysterious picture message from Lovey. As I said, Lovey was an attractive woman with noticeable assets who was having phone trouble. Lovey sent me a picture of a phone and then disappeared, only to return with a picture of herself topless, kneeling on her bed with the cinder block wall in the background right where I remembered it. I was overwhelmed, to say the least. Sure, we had been talking for about a month or so, but this turn of events has ratcheted it up several notches. How should I respond? What should I say? I mean, is lunchtime a good time to propose marriage? As I gazed at my newfound fortune and future wife, I decided to take a minute and calm down and talk myself off the ledge. But these sort of decisions had to be made post-haste. I could not leave this woman literally hanging out to dry. So I began to carefully craft a rough draft to consider before I send it out for Lovey to see. She must understand my sincere appreciation for the intimate, personal photo she has entrusted for my eyes only. She should also be aware of my growing feelings for her. So I slowly pecked away at my keyboard, hoping that my message will seem like poetry to her ears or like a cold drink on a hot summer day. I was almost finished, but decided to take a short break and look at a new message from Angel. It was a video message that she entitled, "Here You Are," meaning I had asked her to take a short video of herself doing something she did every day on the farm. The video showed her outside their very small cinder block and tin roof house as she walked across the yard that had been worn bare by chickens and other farm animals. And she said in very broken English, "I am going to the edge of the forest to collect root crops for dinner." She propped her camera up on the ground and showed her very thin frame struggling to pull at the top of a plant time after time until the dirt finally released its bounty. It was with a very proud smile that she came to the camera and said, "We will eat this for dinner," and closed the video. That was quite possibly the cutest and sweetest thing I had seen in a long time. I was happy to have gotten that video. I went back to my carefully worded correspondence to my amply endowed future spouse, Lovey. As I was about to hit send, she sent me a message that completely told me where she stood, and I couldn't have been more happy that I didn't hit the send button quite yet. Let's be honest. Right now, my heart is broken from pouring my soul into finding a life mate, a wife, a like-minded female that is looking to succeed with me in finances and in love. And after whittling down 1,500 profiles, multitudes of messages, and FaceTime chattings, all I have to show for my efforts is one young woman with 2 children under 2 years old, an old maid teacher, a naked photo phone scammer, and a ghost. Well, let me tell you what, Samantha is right in the middle of a perfect storm to feel all of my pain pointed directly at her for leaving me alone when I needed her most. My message went something like this. "Hey, what's up? Are you kidding me? I messaged you every day for 10 days. I was worried to death that you could have been in a car accident or rushed to hospital with an illness, and you have the nerve to message me, 'Hey, what's up?' Screw you, that's what's up. I can be treated like this in my own country. I don't need to travel 9,000 miles to get the same terrible treatment. Stay out of my inbox. That's what's up." I did not get an immediate response, but who cares? She didn't care, so why should I? There are ample opportunities for me to continue searching for my one true love, and I'm not wasting my time on a woman who can't be troubled to message me back just to let me know that she is at least still alive. Hey, what's up? Indeed. I can't cool down. Every inadequate feeling of failure I've ever experienced is rushing to the surface, and literally I can feel the heat of my ears and face turning red as they are about to explode. Then the messenger notification dings. It is Samantha. Good. I hope she's sitting there crying and feeling like the piece of crap she truly is. I opened her message to see what better be a heartfelt apology or So help me.
I am Samantha and family call me Sam. I am 30 years old and live with my parents' three brother and Lola and work in housekeeping in local hotel. I have many friends boys and girls. We go in a group many times to karaoke or resto bar. I go to 2 years university and did not find my Filipino love. I see a foreign at my work someday and I think why not try for me. I join online dating and chat some men. I chat one man named Rob and think he is older but has in shape still and I think he make good husband for his own house and good salary. We chat every day and every night and I think I fall in love too easy. He say I am beautiful and really like chatting me. I always chat him until one day my small town have typhoon and kill our village. We had little warning and nowhere to go. Everything we own or build is gone. We have nothing, nowhere to live, no electricity, no water, and no internet. And I can't chat 2 weeks. When I internet I send message but he is rude and I block him.
After that well-deserved slap in the face from Samantha, I needed a break. I think I was trying too hard. I'm one of those make it happen guys. If I have a goal and I'm committed to that goal, nobody can stand in my way. I've always been competitive. Whether it was sports, grades, or my career, I was so competitive that through sheer hard work, discipline, and determination, I would always rise to the top and be successful at my goal. I thought this would be no different. Surely a man of my nature could find a match in a sea of 1,500 like-minded women who were also marriage inclined. But boy, did I muck this up royally. I took the weekend to reevaluate what my end game was. Was I being who I wanted to match with? Was I trying to do too much in such a short period of time? Had my time come and gone and I just didn't see the writing on the wall? All valid questions. I did some soul searching for the next few days. Afterwards, I decided to dip my toe back into the dating messaging pool slowly and continue to be polite and nice, Samantha's last message notwithstanding, and to be open to what others brought to the table besides being beautiful with big bra measurements. Shortly after this weekend of self-reflection, I did a little messaging with Angel, and she usually answered me promptly, but video chatting was proving a little difficult as my Tagalog was non-existent and her English was limited. And when she would get frustrated, we would end the FaceTime. Teacher Lilette, on the other hand, was kind of like a safe, fun place for me to message without worrying about whether she liked me or not, although she said that she did like me, but I didn't respond to that message. And I could just be myself and ask her questions about the Philippines, and she would inquire about the United States. Lilette's English was probably the best of everyone I chatted, mainly because in the Philippines, you go to high school and college in English. And she did have a master's degree in education, and that made messaging comfortable for me. Oftentimes I found myself wishing, why couldn't Samantha or Lovey or any of the other attractive women I messaged have Lilette's personality? That would have been a slam dunk jackpot. After a few days of Angel straining to communicate in English, I could see the writing on the wall. She was deep in the province where they had never even seen a foreigner. The internet was come and go, and speaking English was not a high priority. I could tell she was just too polite to tell me she is no longer interested, so the slow fade began. I really missed her broken English and her harvesting root crops and mango videos, but I wasn't here to make her life more difficult than it already was, so I gracefully bowed out, and I could tell she was appreciative.
Hi, my name is Angel. I'm 31 years old. I live in Santa Cruz, Philippines in province on small rice farm. I have 3 brother and 3 sister and we all stay in farm in house built by my father. I dream of going to United States and marry American and live my pitiful life here.
Our only money come from selling fruits we are gather and sell all day at market and rice. I say I finish high school but I have to leave grade 8 to help my family farm. I never see foreign before but in dating app one hope to find a Mary who can make life better for me and my family. I talked to one nice foreign Rob but my internet bad and he always chat. His words are too many and my English words are too small and it makes my head tired. I think a foreign is not worth it for me.
So if you start with all the marriage quality finalists I had been chatting with for months, here's the lineup. Anna, strikingly beautiful with deep blue eyes, but young with young children. Anna wanted to remain friends, so she would send me updates when she was able, and I appreciated that. Then there was Lovey, who I fell for hard and quick, but she turned out to be a scammer and a good one at that. Up next was Samantha, who was gorgeous in her glamour shot photos and was a hoot to talk to and ghosted me for 2 weeks, or so I thought, and then I stuck my foot so far down my throat I lost my sock. Totally my fault. Finally on to Angel. Nothing much more to say, but a sweet and kind woman, but it was the wrong place and the wrong time. No harm, no foul. I really didn't want to give up, but this experiment was a failure. It was a tough pill to swallow because I was so embedded in the process and learned so much about a new country and its culture that I couldn't wait to visit. But it was all for naught as I had failed the mission at the ripe old age of 55. Although I had given up on online dating, I thought you could still visit the Philippines and see the beautiful beaches and the beautiful people. And Manila is one of the biggest and most well-known cities in the world. So I decided to continue my Philippines education with my teacher friend Lilette. And I messaged her and she replied, "I want to video chat to see if you are real." What in the world is she talking about? Don't ruin my view of your near-perfect personality with video of your below-average looks. I know this sounds callous. I really do. But her pictures were what her pictures were, and that's not my fault. I had not led her on one iota. I tried to beg off, but she stopped short of demanding a video chat right then and there. And to be honest, I already felt like a loser, so I didn't want to lose this friend. So I hit the button and waited for her to answer. And I prepared to hide my cringe whenever I saw her video would pop up. But when it did, I could never have expected what I saw. At this point, I have failed miserably on my quest to find a life mate. Some situations were my fault, and some were not my fault, and some just weren't anyone's fault. I put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I really just am not ready to try again in the international dating site. I had met some really sweet and kind women, and I let my ego push me past sweet and kind straight to buxom and beautiful. It's a tale as old as time. You know exactly what you want, but when you give a thirsty man the choice between a glass of water and a six-pack of beer, inevitably I chose the latter when I really needed the former. Over the past 2 months, I had a really great experience, and I learned a lot about a new country, and I learned a lot about myself. If I were to do it all again, I would make a few tweaks to my system, and I think once I recover, I will have to make some hard choices. I could just accept my circumstances and live out my retirement years, caring for my dog and going fishing from time to time, or risk putting my heart out on the line and accept that heartbreak could be out there waiting for me again. So as you heard in the last episode, my Filipina friend, teacher Lilette, demanded that I video chat her to prove that I'm real and not a scammer. Now understand that Lilette had hit every metric on my dating profile must-haves, and her personality on Messenger made me feel calm and relaxed, and that was something I needed when I was trying to juggle too many love interests on my mission to find a mate. So I guess I owed her a video call for all the kindness she had shown me when I really needed it. So I pressed the button and up she pops on video. I already had a good idea of what she looked like from her less than flattering profile pictures. But all of a sudden, I became very confused. I was barely able to muster a squeaky hello. She did not look like her photos. Quite the opposite. She looked like a really cute version of her photos. I was totally discombobulated. She was petite, like she said in her profile. She said she was 37 in her profile, but didn't look a day over 27. She had long, thick, jet black hair, smooth brown skin, and a shy smile. I couldn't stand it. My brain was spinning out of control. My heart was beating out of my chest. What just happened? I just hung up on the video call.
Hi, my name is Lilette. When my family is asking me if I want to go with them in a short vacation to Bohol, without any doubt in myself, I say yes. That was my first time to have a vacation in other places. So I was very excited to go to the popular resort city of Bohol. When my foot stepped down in Bohol, I said wow. It's an amazing place, people are kind and nice. I was not expecting that, the province of Bohol is so amazing. And I was not expecting also that place of Bohol there are a lot of foreigners. I was so shocked. I said to myself, oh no. It makes me amazed looking those foreigners. I enjoyed watching those Filipinos dated their foreign boyfriends, some are married. They look so sweet and happy. In my eyes, all foreigners are handsome and attractive because of their white skin color, pointed nose, their height and being hardworking. Maybe because I was young at that time I feel this way. While I was alone in the swing at the resort, there was a young guapo foreign man passing by at me and say hi with me. So, I say hello. But I feel shy and look down at the sand. I was sad and desperate at that time because I was broken-hearted with my first Filipino boyfriend. My Filipino boyfriend cheated with me. He was hard-working man but he cheated on me. I lost my trust and love. I thought he was my first and last boyfriend. I feel hatred to my ex-boyfriend. I promised to myself, I don't want to have any relationship to Filipino man again. I don't want to be hurt again. I was numb to a Filipino. And yes, it's true. Suddenly, it comes to my mind, how does those Filipinas found their foreign boyfriends or their husbands? What place do I go to find a foreign man? Are foreign men loyal and faithful when it comes to relationship? Is it hard to find them? It seems they are all taken here in my province. That vacation is giving me an idea to open my eyes wide and heart again by not closing my door and try to find my luck in other people's culture living in other side of the world. That led me to ask my co-teacher for advice and her advice scared me so I did not take advice of joining dating app. Years had passed after my vacation from Bohol. I kept myself busy by studying my master's degree. I enjoyed going to university every Saturday. Until one afternoon, while I'm browsing my Facebook page, I saw my college friend's profile. I sent her a message. And we started chatting. She's asking me, if I am married, how many kids do I have, where did my husband work? Do I have a good life? Too many questions that all answers are a no. When she heard it, she doesn't believe me. But that's the reality. I tell her, I'm not lucky with Filipino. So, she started sharing her love story. How she found her English husband. When and where did they meet, I ask. I just listening to her and say you're so lucky a girl. It makes no sense to me to find husband so far away. After a conversation, she shared a link to dating app. She said, girl, you're 33 right now, you're not a teenager. She encouraged me to sign up and find a foreigner in an online dating site. She gave some tips how to sign up. Put the best pictures as you can. Put a heading, looking for marriage, only serious man, no scammers please. Then, I tried to open the link, I saw there many foreigners from different countries. But I'm too shy and embarrassed at that time. So, did not continue to sign up to the apps. After 3 years, I finished my master's degree. Year 2018, my dad passed away. It makes me sad. I decided to go to our province in Mindanao to refresh my mind, smell fresh air and forget all the saddest thing happened to my dad. When I was sitting our terrace, suddenly it comes to my mind, my dad passed away, my mom is old now, my sisters are all married. What about me? I am still single. Should I be alone forever? I realize something missing in my life. I need to find a man to share my life, to talk to grow old with me, to comfort me when I'm down. When I went back to Manila after a month, my college friends sending me a message, asking how was my search. I said nothing happens. My friend says, "What? Girl, you're too old enough, you're not a teenager. You're not sweet 16. You're 36. You want to be an old maid forever?" I said, no. She said, "Go, sign up, hurry up. My friend is pushing me to join the dating app just to find my foreign destiny." That night before I sleep, I decided to sign up the dating app to join. But I prayed before I sign up. Everything I wrote in my profile are true. I put 3 pretty photos and started searching of foreigners from different countries.
My friend, teacher Lilette, had just blown my mind. I did not know how to process what I had just seen and justify it against what I thought I knew. My brain short-circuited and I hung up on the video chat. Lilette had very homely pictures on her dating profile, but had everything else listed as if she read my profile first, then wrote her profile to correspond with mine. So personality-wise, we clicked and became friends over Messenger, but she finally put her foot down and demanded a video chat. And when she popped up on the screen, she resembled her pictures, but in a much more attractive way. I had been scammed before in a bad way, but she scammed me in a good way. So while I was trying to cool my jets and plot my next move, she is ringing me on the video chat. I take a deep breath and answer immediately. I apologize for my phone losing service. She believed me and we started some small talk about the weather. How was your job? What do you like to do for fun there? Her English was good compared to the others I had chatted, but you could tell she was not well practiced with a native English speaker. But it was enough to enjoy the conversation. About 20 awkward minutes had gone by, and it was a good time to not try and overdo it on the first call. We had 2 people who came into this conversation with completely different expectations. She already told me via Messenger she liked me because of my kind demeanor, and my pictures were honest depictions of what I looked like. On the other hand, thought way more of her personality than her photos. When those 2 worlds collided, it was the same old for her. But for me, it did stir up some butterflies in my stomach to be pleasantly surprised to see a face that actually matched her sparkling personality. I think she is much on the same scale as I would say about myself. Not beautiful, but she was cute, above average. And when you factor in her sweetness and her kindness, it put her in a different classification, and I was definitely interested in chatting with her again. I had so many questions to ask. I wanted to find out everything I could about her. Is how you are presenting yourself real and true? Is your life as stable as you say? Are you willing to relocate? After all of the different types of personalities I had interacted with over video chat, I really felt like I had the experience to know where to set boundaries and the correct way to ask questions of such a conservative woman who could easily misconstrue one English word for another. For instance, the standard of living there, even for a full-time teacher, is poverty level. Most teachers make about $300 to $350 a month. Sure, some things are cheaper in the Philippines, but some things are not. So if Lilette had a hard day at work, I could not say, "Oh, you poor thing." She might think I was making a judgment on her life even though that's not what it means. So after all of this thinking about how to tackle the next video chat and be ready with some questions and be ready to show her I was a good listener, taking into account what I knew about her culture and her life, I was ready for the second video chat with someone whom I hoped would become more than a friend. As was customary in new video chatmates protocol, I sent Lilette a message asking if I could video chat her again today, as it was the same time as yesterday. As prepared as I was for this call, I was not prepared for her response.
During the day, I am a working woman. Every night, when I'm done at work and I go home, I gave time to search a foreigners in dating site. I kept trying and trying to search. Too many foreigners in different age and countries. I have a standard in looking for a man. I know I'm not beautiful like others, I'm not rich. I'm a province girl who is searching my destiny, but I'm educated woman. I know what's best for me. I read carefully their profile, especially their jobs, if they own their own house, don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, if they are religious, no tattoos, and they are not dominant and gambling, and I read what they are looking for in a women's. As I kept go on in my search, I started chatting a man in United States, exchanging messages, asking about his job in America. Few minutes he started being awakened, so I ignored him. I gave another try, still in America. At first he is sweet and kind, but I was wrong, he just want naked pictures. I don't want to be rude with a person, so I ignored them. I feel tired in my first night of search. But I enjoyed reading the profiles. My friend told me, if you keep searching, one day you can catch a good one. Just be patient. As my search go on, I felt I'm hopeless. I felt I don't have luck in Filipino men, even in foreigners, because foreign men's, mostly I chatted, are rude. They just want naked photos. I'm not a low-level woman. Too many sleepless nights I was still searching. Until one night, I saw a man living in Paris, France. He looks cute, handsome, having a good job, young man at around 43 of his age, very guapo man. I sent him a message. And we talked in Skype for 3 months. But it's very shaky because he's so rude. He like talking awaken. When I am asking about his personal life, he don't like to share about it. He is moody, in short. Until he decided to come to the Philippines because of his work. I'm nervous, happy, I can't explain my feelings because it's my first time meeting a foreigner. But suddenly, he wants to meet me, but in hotel only. I asked him to meet my family, but he refused it. I tell him frankly, I can't meet you. I'm serious looking for marriage. I don't want to waste time meeting you if you are not serious with me. I did not message him anymore. I still continue my search every night. But too difficult to find a good one. But still hoping. One morning I browsed a little bit. Until I saw a man that is incredible photos, a man sitting on a big rock, and fishing in the river. I like his name too, Rob. I said, why not give a try, who knows he's going to message to an ugly Filipino woman because I changed my photos. I put panjit photos. Because they say, foreigners likes exotic beauty. My photos are all panjit, like an ugly duckling. I read his profile and I like it because at first he's a teacher, and I'm sure if one day he decided to visit me here in Philippines, he's going to understand my work because we are both teachers. Second, he own a house, goes to church, and he don't smoke. I sent a non-effort message, just simple HI. I was hoping he's going to message me back. I know it's very impossible he's going to message me back, for thousands of women's joining in a site. Less chances of me. But then I was surprised he messaged me back. I was so happy, excited, it's mixed emotion. I messaged him back and started talking in the dating site. Asking him about his jobs and his personal life too. He talked good. I like talking to him. Every day we message, but still in doubt he is talking a lot of women's, I'm sure.
I was going to slow down, but at the same time, I was not going to make the mistakes I made earlier in this process. I had seen enough and I had learned enough to be somewhat knowledgeable in regards to how to communicate with a Filipina effectively. Or so I thought, because Lilette and I had a really good first conversation. I asked questions, I listened, I didn't interrupt, I kept eye contact, and I politely complimented her on her English and her hair. So I was quite sure that she would be just as excited to chat me as I was to chat her. Because before I saw her on video, I wasn't so excited. And before she ever saw me on video, she told me she liked me. So I was a bit dismayed when she messaged me back about my chat request and said, "I'm busy." That was it. No other words. No context. "What do you mean you're busy?" I was on my best behavior. I did everything right. I've become a student of the game. I'm interested now that I've seen her. She was already interested in me before she ever saw me. Oh no. I think I just stumbled upon the key factor. She liked me before she saw me. Maybe she had higher expectations based on the photos I posted online. I quickly opened up the dating app. I could still see my profile without paying. I was just limited to no communication, so I looked at my pictures to see where I could have deceived her. Not one female from around the globe last month indicated that I was catfishing with my pictures. I had posted 5 pictures, no filters, all taken within the last 4 months, and my face was clearly visible in all 5 photos. Where could I have gone wrong? Could I have aged so hideously in that 4 months that now my appearance is unacceptable to this dear, sweet woman? Okay, all right. Everyone just calm down. This isn't the end of the world. Maybe, just maybe, she actually was busy. There has to be a percentage chance that she really does have a job and a life and just couldn't chat right at that time. And she thought she used enough English to convey her point. I'm going to take that tact, and I just shot her a message saying, "Okay, thank you. Just let me know when you're free." In other news, my birthday was about a week away in late September, so I would be busy buying a fun dinner to prepare for my daughter and a couple of close friends on my special day. I'm about 2 months deep into this international dating odyssey, and I have kept everything a secret from my daughter and friends. I'm not ready to let the cat out of the bag quite yet, because I found out about 3 weeks ago it can all blow up in a heartbeat. So I'm keeping a low profile until I think a trip to the Philippines is in order. 12 hours had gone by since my message to Lilette, and suddenly my phone is ringing, and it's Lilette calling without messaging first, which is pretty far out of bounds for a second video chat. I'm not sure how I feel about this latest development, so I decide to make a bold move.
Days goes by, we consistently talking my online chatmate Rob. As I remember, it was last week of August 2019. Until Rob asking me if I have a Facebook Messenger, and we talk there every day, knowing each other. While talking in Messenger every day, I still have doubt in him, thinking that he is talking too many women's. I don't have much interest with Rob. Rob sent me a message every day, but I'm so suspicious in my messages. As I always remember, I always ignored his messages. I always tell him I'm busy, I message you when I'm free, take care, bye. But Rob still sending me a message even I ignored him. I can tell, he is numb to me. He never feel I have interest in him. But then, one morning I sent him a morning greetings, and I was curious about his face, so I want to see him in video chat. So I tell him, can we have a video chat? Eventually he said yes. I feel nervous. He talked nicely, very manly, looking strict also, and I feel he has one word man. That was the start that we established a nice friendly relationship, and we talked every day. I enjoyed talking him every morning and every night. That was my routine every day, talking to Rob. He laughed at me when I tell him the man on the rock because I like that picture of him on dating app and attract me to send him hi in the site.
In the course of 12 hours, I had gone from thinking I'm the Let's Dream guy to wondering if she thinks my face is hideously disfigured to now she's ringing my video chat unannounced. Not being sure how to tackle this call without preparation to my ugly mug, I just answer the call and croak out a tentative hello. She begins with a somewhat strained hi. Immediately I'm on the defensive. Did she come here to mock me and block me? While I'm thinking about this ruining my mood for my birthday, she continues, sorry I couldn't chat. My family all came over with food and we celebrated my nephew's birthday, and I was too tired to talk, so I went to bed. Great! I am not hideously disfigured after all. She was just prioritizing spending family time over a random foreign chatmate. I can respect that. She asked about my day and wanted to know more about my birthday preparations. She asked, will you have a happy birthday banner and balloons? I replied, no, I'm not a child. I saw her face change from her usual smile to a closed-off look. I asked, why did you change your smile? She replied, in the Philippines, everyone gets a banner and balloons no matter your age. Well, now my personality is hideously disfigured. I try to recover with, I didn't know that. Here in the U.S., banners and balloons are generally reserved for small children. She thought that was kind of sad. I told her I would be grilling whole chickens and my daughter would make birthday cupcakes and my best friend Russ would bring potato salad and coleslaw and my good buddy Mitch could always be counted on to bring everyone's favorite beer from the local brewery. We would sit out on my back deck in the cool autumn air and maybe even start a fire in the fire pit after dinner and laugh and tell the same old stories we always tell. I told her my best friend Russ has been my closest friend for 20 years. I could count on him always. Even though he is 20 years my junior, he has always been there when I needed a hand and has been a good friend to my daughter as well. I explained that my good buddy Mitch is a hard-to-describe character until you get to know him personally. I've known Mitch for probably 15 years. He's a world traveler, younger than Russ, a businessman in the oil business, an entrepreneur, a good friend, and the best beer slinger I know. I spend most of my social time with my daughter and Mitch and Russ. My circle is small, but it is solid. Lilette enjoyed me telling her about my birthday plans, my daughter, and my close friends, and said it made her feel closer to me to know I would share this private part of my life with her. Her next question hit me out of the blue. I'm not so sure she will feel closer to me if I answer her truthfully, so I hemmed and I hawed and I changed the subject. I wasn't interested in hurting her feelings, so I turned my phone around and showed her my back deck and my grill and where I would be making my world-famous beer can chicken and my freshly refinished deck stained in a redwood color that popped. This got her off the scent of her question that I wouldn't answer at this stage of the game. Then I said my goodbyes and told her I would like to video chat again tomorrow if she had time. She agreed, and I wiped my brow as I nearly escaped with my reputation intact. I told you that I had 100% good intentions in this mission to find a mate, and all signs seemed to be pointing at least in the general direction of my friend turned love interest Lilette. So to give myself a better chance, I had been going to YouTube and devouring Philippines YouTube videos produced by Americans who I perceived to have vast experience on what to do and what not to do when in my chatting situation. I know there is somewhat of a language barrier, and as an American, I guess I fell into the trap of everywhere is like our country. That was my assumption, and I found out quickly I was wrong. I already know I can treat her with respect and kindness because being kind is an international language, but I needed to know the ins and outs of her culture to try to impress her and let her know I am making a Herculean effort to show her I care enough about our burgeoning relationship to put in the time to learn her culture. After all, 9 out of 10 Philippines YouTubers can't be wrong. Sarcasm. Some of the videos I watched seem to be accurate. If they used facts and figures, I would cross-reference them on Google to said YouTuber's information and either continue to subscribe to him if true or cut him out of my daily viewing lineup if incorrect. Then there were the tubers who had headlines such as, "The 5 things you need to know before dating a Filipina. 10 ways to know if your LDR really likes you or she is a scammer. If your Filipina does this in public, she loves you." I gobbled it up, and I sparingly used some of this advice in our chats and then took note on how Lilette would react. Mostly she would smile when I got it right and correct me when I got it wrong, which was okay because I could blame it on YouTube. My hard work and preparation appeared to be working, as Lilette was really taking a much bigger interest in me and my day-to-day goings-on, even going so far as to regularly say, "Be safe when you drive to work." This saying was usually number 3 on the top 5 ways to know your Filipina really likes you. YouTube got it right that time, so that was cool. The rest of the week came and went, and I had avoided the question the whole time, and it was now time for my small birthday celebration. It was the end of September 2019, and as I was getting a head start on food preparation on the deck, my daughter was busy icing the cupcakes, and Russ and Mitch were still about 30 minutes from arriving, so I took a break while it was still calm and video chatted Lilette without sending a message first. That was a pretty big step for me to take in the relationship. Lilette answered immediately and was very interested in seeing how an American spends their birthday, as opposed to what she sees in her country. So I tour the backyard and the deck and show her the chicken on the grill, but I hear Russ and Mitch pulling into the driveway 15 minutes early. I hear my daughter open the front door and hear them making their way to the deck, and I quickly exit my video chat and pretend everything is normal as the festivities fire up a little early. I was disappointed I had to cut my video call short, but I bought myself another day's reprieve from the question.
It was late September, Rob's birthday. I call him via video chat to greet him personally, asking about his birthday, the foods, his visitors. I want to know how they celebrate birthdays in America. Because in my poor life, I never experienced celebrating a nice birthday, yummy foods, wine in a round table, friends in my birthday, having gifts. I was so happy seeing him, he was happy in his birthday. I just imagine how nice to have a good birthdays every year like him. I really like him more and more, so I asked him about his friends.
I had a really good 56th birthday. I've never been one much to celebrate my own birthday, but it makes my daughter happy, and Russ and Mitch just really like my cooking, so everyone had a good time, myself included. I never really sleep past about 5 a.m., which at this time of year is 7 p.m. in the Philippines. Lilette would have went to church and had lunch with her extended family members and was now probably working on her lesson plans for school Monday. I rolled out of bed and into the shower, but not before checking my messages. There were 2 messages from Lilette. One was a GIF, G-I-F, of a teddy bear wishing me a happy birthday, and another one was more like a small music video with sunrises and happy animals and blossoming flowers and the such, with a song playing. I listened to the song, and I had never heard it before, and it was obviously a Filipina performer singing a love song. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a little early for a love song in this relationship. I felt flattered and uneasy all at the same time. Guess what? Number 2 on the 5 things you need to know before dating a Filipina was, they fall in love very quickly. We have been talking for 5 to 6 weeks by now, and things were going very smoothly. No arguments, no disagreements. So I was really settling into this habit of twice daily video chats. But if YouTube is correct, Lilette has either pressed the wrong song button. I mean, really, she could have been meaning to push the happy birthday song and didn't proofread her message. Or she possibly has already fallen in love with this cowboy, and I am not ready for that rodeo yet. So I shower and get some coffee and have a birthday cupcake from last night's birthday celebration for breakfast. And in the still early morning silence, I contemplate the meaning of her little video messages and try to come up with different ways to handle different scenarios for when I video chat her next. I'm starting to develop a strong attachment to Lilette. After all, she is sweet, kind, she's family oriented, has no children, attends church, is easy on the eyes, educated, and is good at English. But she lives 9,000 miles away, and I have not seriously considered going there to meet her, let alone even started saving for such an involved trip. If you start talking about taking a trip that far, you are making a very bold statement. And it says, I'm going to the Philippines to finalize this deal we're working on, and I'm on my way to make my destiny happen. Those are very bold words that require an iron constitution and decisive action. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just not there yet. Someday I may be there. Actually, I hope to be there one day. But with this distance, there is absolutely no way to know for sure until you actually touch each other in person. And if she knew my answer to the question, I'm quite sure she will not want to touch me in person. Things are progressing nicely with Lilette. Every morning and every evening we video chat. We are learning more and more about each other as the days go by. One particular day, I was video chatting her on the back deck, which is my usual safe spot, so my daughter and my friends couldn't sneak up on me and catch me in the act. The fact of the matter was, I was embarrassed. I knew what they would say. My friends are merciless when it comes to finding an opening to mock me. They would cut quickly and they would cut deeply. No taunt in poor taste was off limits. How do I know this? Because I'm the same way with them. Making fun of each other was our love language. And boy, are they good at it. So I had to be stealthy because for sure they would call me crazy, for starters. Then move on to, why can't you find a woman in your own country? Are you getting a mail order bride? She is using you for a green card. She just wants to get here and then leave you and find a younger guy. She's only with you for your money, etc., etc., etc. I was 80% sure none of these things were what this sweet, kind woman was about. So to answer your question, what was her question that was so dire? She asked me, have you told your friends about me yet? I couldn't bring myself to answer honestly and risk hurting her feelings. I felt bad. I felt like I was hiding her. And she was right. I was hiding her. But I couldn't risk the verbal flogging I would receive, especially if this didn't work out or if they happened to be correct. So I just kept changing the subject whenever she brought it up. On this current video chat, I was eating some snacks left over from my birthday celebration, and she would ask me what I was eating. It was a small tube of hot peanuts. She said that looks masarap, and she said, can you send me those? She giggled afterwards, so I assumed she was being silly. Later in the conversation, I also ate some gummy bears. She asked, what are those? I explained gummy bears to her, and again she said, can you send me? Again she giggled, so again I brushed it aside. This happened at other times as well. If I was taking a snack break at work, always, can you send me? And then a giggle. So after I knew she was asleep, I sent her a message and asked for her address. I didn't give her a reason. I just asked because I thought it would be a funny surprise to send her hot peanuts and gummy bears in the mail. After I got off work and she was rising for work and messaged me back her address, something was amiss. For the first time, I felt like I might be being scammed. This isn't her address. Does she think I'm stupid? Or worse, were my delusional thoughts about what my friends might say be true?
I am asking his favorite snacks. I told him, can you send me some of your favorite snacks? I was so curious because honestly I never had that in my younger days. We are too poor at that time. But asking him, it's all about joke. I know he's not wasting time and money for spending that crazy little snacks. But before I slept, he is asking my house address. I already had a doubt again, maybe he is scammer. Maybe a bad guy. I had to be careful in this man. I'm sure he is scammer. He is trying to be nice with me. Until I decided, why not give a try to send my address, maybe he's a good Samaritan. So, I gave my school address.
I have watched so many YouTube videos with the title, How to Know If Your Filipina is a Scammer. I feel like an expert. So when Lilette sent me her mailing address, a red flag went up immediately because she sent me an address to an elementary school. That hit me as odd, so I looked up the school and the address on the internet, and sure enough, it was the school she has worked at for 14 years. So with a little trepidation, I stopped by the convenience store on my way to work and bought a couple of tubes of hot peanuts, a bag of gummy worms, a bag of Three Musketeers bars, some Mentos, Chico sticks, and a couple of photos from my summer vacation with my family so she could feel more at ease by seeing something tangible in her hands that is personal to me. I found a box that was about the size of a children's shoebox, and I loaded up that box and wrapped it in printer paper. On my way home, I stopped at the post office, and the lady behind the counter helped me fill out the customs form in quadruplicate with eyes full of judgment. Sorry, lady, you had your chance. I'm international now. Which I only thought, I did not say. The box was sitting at 2 pounds 15 ounces and would cost $27 to ship $8 worth of snacks to the elementary school in Manila. I took a picture of the customs receipt and sent it to her via Messenger. It was about 5 a.m. there, so I was sure she was not awake yet. I went about my usual after-work household business. At that time, I lived in the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a 2-car garage and a small yard. It was really way more house than I needed at this point, and not near enough garage for my hobby of rebuilding vintage campers. So I begun planning selling this house and building a small retirement house with a big shop on some land outside of the city and into the country. I take a break when Lilette calls me in the morning. I'm hoping this small gesture will make her happy.
When I woke up in my morning, I was surprised he sent me a picture of a receipt in a postal office. I don't know if I will be happy or nervous. I don't know if it is true. But when we talk in video chat, I say thank you and wait until the package arrives here in Philippines. But deep inside, I'm happy because he's making an effort sending that box. Hopefully it's not a joke. It was November 2019, the post office delivered a parcel from United States. I was so excited for the box. I'm happy also because he never lied to me. When I received the box, I rushed home and opened it. My family all gather round and are more excitement than even me. When I open, I see snacks. I say sent to me. His box is just like what I think Christmas would be. My little nieces and nephews want to try sour worm, and my mom and sisters want to try chocolate. I save hot peanuts for me and take pictures up to my room to chat Rob. That time, I was thinking maybe this man is good person. I started to keep chatting on him every morning, every night. It could be my daily routine, chatting him every day. I never forget saying good morning when I woke up. We had set a time to have a video call. My feelings changed for him. Day by day, I feel comfortable talking with him, telling about my crazy life before and now. Until another receipt of box he sent me the next month. I'm not asking anything from him, but he did. Of course, I am happy for that. But 2 months he is sending me a surprise box. I was thinking, this how he is getting my feelings to make him close and more comfortable to me. All this chatting and 2 boxes, he never asked me nude photos. He respect me of who I am. He makes me proud of him. So, we continued talking. We enjoyed each other every day, sharing our thoughts in life. The next box was even better. As we continued talking day by day, I feel very comfortable talking with him. If I asked him about his life, he shared to me. I asked about his past life, about his daughter, and his job. He told me everything. I was thinking so many times that I want to tell my life because I don't want that he's expecting me too much. If one day he's going to visit me, I tell him, I'm just an ordinary woman who lives in a province and moved here in Manila last 2003 for finding a job. I tell him how life is hard in province. Rain or shine, we harvested a lemon juice, string beans, and cucumber to sell it in the market Saturday and Sunday. Me and my mom had slept over in the market during Saturday to have early market to sell vegetables. The hardest part is when I'm going to school in my college. I had 100 pesos allowance for the whole week. I had one school uniform and one pants and maybe had 4 shirts in whole week. I hand washed in sink and wear clothes every day because not machines where we are. And one pair of school shoes. Hard, but I don't care. I enjoyed my days with my friends at school. I never tried eating Jollibee or McDonald's. I do not know about Jollibee burger in my college day. I know it's embarrassing story because my life is so poor. I know Rob has a good life in America. Rob doesn't had an experience like me. As we always talked every day. A month later he's sending me again a box. I was so excited every time he has a surprise for me. I kept asking what's inside. He always telling me I forget. When I received the box and opened it was an expensive shoes. I almost cried because this is the first time I can wear an expensive shoes. There was some peanuts, chocolates and jelly A's. It was very unforgettable experience I had. Before in I had window shopping only and looking for a nice shoes but I can't buy. When I was young jelly A's is my favorite because it's colorful but I don't have 1 peso. It's my first time to receive an expensive shoes with my favorite color. I never had this before in my younger days. I'm using slipper at my grade school. My slipper before is Spartan. I use a banana leaf for umbrella when it is raining. I never had experienced that someone is giving me a shoes. I'm so glad having a Nike shoes for the first time. I don't know what's inside the mind of Rob, maybe he felt pity with my life experiences. That's why he tried to send me some things that I never had before. I told him why you bought an expensive shoes for me. He answered, let me enjoy buying things for you. I know it's expensive. Maybe he feel pity with me. I was happy and thankful to Rob because he provided me a things I don't have before.
I had a gift card to a sporting goods store for my birthday, so I went to buy some new wrestling shoes as I am not only a teacher, but also a high school wrestling coach. The season had already been running, so the shoes were on sale, and right next to that sale rack was the female shoes on sale. I had asked Lilette her shoe size in passing weeks before to be prepared for this opportunity. I quickly called my daughter and asked her how women's sizes correlated to children's sizes since it is the same shoe, just cheaper. I found a pair of children's pink, Lilette's favorite color, Nike running shoes marked down to $30. That was really more than I wanted to spend, especially with shipping being added on, but it was getting close to Christmas, and I am beginning to understand how Lilette grew up in poverty and now lived a very Spartan existence, but yet she was always happy. And to see the sheer joy in her eyes was certainly worth the $50 I was going to put out. Until that is, Lilette sends up a giant red flag.
As we continued talking with Rob, I was thinking he is a good foreigner. Because he never asked me nude photos or being bastos to me. All he is showing me is being good and respectful man. I have a close friend at school. I decided to share about my online chatmate. I tell her everything about Rob. My friend advises me to be careful and not to trust easily because he is a foreigner and maybe is he pretending a good guy but he is bad in their country, especially that I am not seeing him in person. Maybe my friend has some point also. It's easy to be good online. Sometimes, I asked myself, why he is so good and nice to me. I never asked him anything such as any materials things but he provided me by sending a box every month. I try also to open my situation into my family. Everybody was shocked. But same advices with my friend. Every day when I talk with Rob, I am happy. Every day happy, I am always looking forward that I can't miss talking with him. And I was wishing hopefully, one day I hug in person, hopefully he will decided to meet me in person, hopefully he will like me, hopefully he will accept me as who I am, hopefully he will marry me. I have lot of hopes every day, every night. But I'm sure it's too impossible because he's living far away and he never talked about visiting here in the Philippines. But I care about him, I care about our friendship. But I don't know if Rob cares me too, and while we are talking I sleep up and tell too much.
Things are really progressing nicely with Lilette. She is a great conversationalist. She always has a question or a story about her day or her life. I find her stories about her life surviving poverty conditions extremely fascinating. Just to live under those conditions and still have a hopeful view of the future and still be kind and sweet says a lot about her character. I have to be careful because it makes me want to send more boxes and even some money to help ease her money woes. But if nothing else, YouTube has taught me to never, and I mean never, send money to someone you have never met in person. There are multitudes of train wreck stories where guys send up to $1,000 US or more monthly to help the Filipinas family and to start buying some land and build a small house for them to retire in the Philippines together. And when the foreigner shows up, there's nobody there to pick him up at the airport, and the address is the 7-Eleven in Manila. I 100% understand both sides. A, don't send money. B, I have a little money to waste. But if I never set foot into Lilette's life, I have brought her joy with a small amount of candies and doodads, and the feeling I get is well worth the postage. I will heed YouTube's advice and not send money, but I keep expecting that her demands for money will soon come forth. But back to chatting with Lilette. We are chatting twice a day, every day, and not so long after I sent her the nice pink tennis shoes. She is expressing her gratitude for always being respectful and for taking time to brighten up her life once a month with a box. And she thinks very highly of me, and she loves me. Rewind that. She says she loves me. I am well aware that Filipinas fall in love fast and hard, but I must take a stand right here, right now.
As we talk every day, we feel very comfortable to each other. But still, we are not quitting our account in the dating app. One time, when I opened my account in app 1 saw Rob online there. I feel bad with him and jealous thinking he's still searching for a Filipina, he has many girls. I asked him, why you are online in dating app? He answered me, I was checking my mail. But I'm sure he's liar. Some men's want more women's so they can choose the best one. He is same with my ex-Filipino boyfriend. Anyway, that's fine, he don't have responsibility to me. He's not my boyfriend. We are online friends. I'm about to give up in my search because I feel I'm not lucky in foreigner or even Filipino. I was trying hard searching for a foreigner. So many sleepless nights for searching, but days are too much unfair for me. My age 37 in Philippines is older. It's already an old maid. I feel insecurities in myself. I have a good job, a house, but something missing in my life. Mostly men's in Philippines like white complexion Filipina. It's very attractive here. Brown is not attractive. My color is brown. I don't have a Filipino boyfriend. I don't know why, maybe because I'm brown, not attractive. I don't want to try again a relationship with a Filipino, especially at age 37. I was hoping I can catch a foreign man before I get 40. I was also hoping when I reach 40, I'm walking in the aisles wearing a white pretty wedding gown with a butterfly in a nice garden and my future man waiting me there to hold my hands. Every time we go to Divisoria, I saw a lot of beautiful wedding gowns, and I started thinking when I can fit this gown. When I can wear this gown? Maybe not. I think it's just a dream. Mostly 25 years old is marrying age here in Philippines. I know Rob was there but still we don't have label in our relationship. Every day talking, sharing our thoughts and once in our life but no label. Then he scolds me for say I love you. I feel bad. Filipina fall fast. I'm more discouraged now. On the next day, while we are talking in my morning, I was not expecting he's going to talk about our account in the dating app. He is telling me he's going to close his account and focus talking with me. I do know if I'm going to be happy or sad because I'm sure he's still talking with someone else. But I'm hoping he's not lying. It's easy to say but hard to do it. I don't want to lose Rob. I'm happy with him.
I felt bad for reading Lilette the riot act over saying she loves me, but I had to nip it in the bud. It's not that I don't have feelings for her on some level, it's just saying those words are pretty big and carry a lot of responsibility. I said, don't say that. We haven't met in person. I don't know if we ever will, but you cannot make that kind of promise without meeting in person. I think it hurt her feelings, but she understood, and she still called me the next day. Hopefully it didn't drive her back to the dating site. I don't feel like spending another $30 in 2 months of my life there. Some tough decisions need to be made.
As we go further as an online friends, I share Rob my childhood memories. As a young kid in a province, it's a funny moment. Why I share? It's because it's fun to remember. It's a night about 7 p.m., me and my sister M went to Barrio to buy a tuba. Tuba is a cheap coconut wine because my father drink it every night. Tuba is 2 pesos for 1 small liter. Our house is far distance from the barrio. We had 1 peso coin left in my hands. Me and my sister decided to buy a Ribisco biscuit with chocolate filling. It's yummy for us already, for those poor kids like me. Too dark in the street. Most houses there don't have an electricity. That was year 1989. I am in grade 1 at that time. Only few buses, cars, tricycles gives us light in the street when it passes by. While we are walking in the street, we saw a big dark man. We are so scared and walk too fast. Until we run faster because we are so scared, I drop my Ribisco biscuit in the poo of the carabao. I stopped running and I go back my way and get the Ribisco biscuit even it's already in the center of poo. Because if I don't get it, I don't have Ribisco biscuit anymore and I do know when I can have 1 peso again. When we got home, I washed it with water. And I open it and I eat. My sister laughed at me because I dropped my biscuit at the carabao poo. I know it's funny and yucky but it's not dirty because it was sealed. When I 7-year-old, my favorite is Jelly Ace because it has different colors but I can't buy it. It's 1 peso and 25 cents. The Tindera told me only rich kid can buy it. It hurts my feelings because I want to buy Jelly Ace but I can't. Jelly Ace looks yummy. When I got a job, I have a monthly salary. Jelly Ace is in my bucket list. Until now Jelly Ace is my favorite. Most of my friends laughed at me because I'm like a kid. Maybe Rob also is laughing secretly while I'm sharing my funny, yucky moments. When I was in grade 2, I'm about to go home from school. While I'm walking, I saw a clubhouse cracker in street. It's not dirty because still sealed. I get it and bring home. There are a lot of students walking in the street at that time. But I did not have any hesitation to get it. I ate it and shared my sisters. My mom asked me, "Where did you get money to buy a cracker?" I told my mom, "I just saw it in the street. I did not steal it. Maybe this is for me. Maybe someone dropped it." My reason is I want to eat those foods I can't eat in my younger days because of my poverty life. Anyway, whatever they think, whatever they say, that's okay. Everybody has different experiences in life. But all of this giving me strength and hope in my life. I don't know what Rob thinks of me. Every month Rob sent me a box. I liked when Rob sent me a box. It's very surprising and exciting. Those things he sent me, for me it's expensive, but I'm thankful for him. I'm happy talking with him.
One of my favorite things about Lilette is that she will randomly start telling me a story from when she was a small child in the province. By now I know she grew up dirt poor but happy. She will tell me a story that should make her cry, but she always ends up laughing and happily remembering her simple life in the province. She will sit on the phone for 20 minutes talking as if she is in the province right then and there, and it makes me feel somehow closer to her. I just stare at her on the screen and get lost in her story, and it is in that moment when I can understand how some of my countrymen want to ride in like a white knight and rescue these damsels in distress with their money. It is impossible for me to reach out and give her a hug. We are separated by 9,000 miles, but your feelings are developing and you have no tangible way to express them, so whip out the wallet. But I know better. Or do I?
After, I shared my past life to Rob. Asked him also about his job in America. While I'm listening him, I was thinking how I wished I can be there soon. Everybody dreams to come America. But it's impossible for me. Sometimes, I teach Rob a little bit of Tagalog words like dog, pretty, ugly, yes, no. It's too funny to teach him because he learned faster. Every day we have a lot of fun while talking. After a while, he sent me another box. I was surprised again. He is doing it every month. I think maybe he do like me, maybe love me like I do him, but he is not brave enough to say it to me. Why else would a Kano after 5 months of talking online? Because we are always happy and comfortable to each other. Rob surprised me. He told me, "I will come and meet you in person there in Philippines next year 2020 of March." I was overwhelmed, mixed emotion, I do know what to say. Finally, I will meet him in person. My mind was so much of thinking. I finally judge him in person. If he's respectful with me and my family. But I gave him a lot of rules before he can book a flight. Number 1 rule, make sure I'm the only Filipina you're going to meet here in Philippines. 2. I will pick you at the airport when you arrive. 3. Stay here in my house. 4. Meet my family. 5. Respect my family. 6. Go to church when I go to church too. 7. No sex in the first meeting, especially if you don't propose me. 8. Don't ask me to sleep in your room. 9. Don't act being marked. 10. I don't have money to treat you. 11. Don't expect that my house is big and beautiful. He agreed all the rules. I know it's too many, but I have to be wise too. It's my loss if I'm not going to use my mind. I learned my past relationship with Filipino man before, I don't want to hurt anymore. So many years, I suffered from heartache and never tried another chance of having a relationship with my same culture Filipino. Before I slept, I was praying hopefully this man will be my forever. Hopefully he's a good foreigner. It doesn't matter if he's not a super rich. The most important is love, respect, understanding, loyal and faithful. I'm so glad and starting counting the months. I have so much of hopes.
I am really starting to fall hard for Lilette. I'm very sure she is genuine to her word, and she is how she presents herself. So I decided to float the idea of a short visit over spring break. It is just November now, so that leaves 3 months to still talk and nail down some plans and even negotiate her long list of demands for me when and if I arrive at the airport in Manila. I'm only planning on staying 9 days, so I feel like I can meet all of her demands except one. She wants me to stay in her tiny house with 3 other people, and although I know that it is culturally appropriate there for multiple generations to live in the same small house, I'm not traveling 9,000 miles in an airplane for 25 hours to be uncomfortable the whole time and not get to know her one on one. I'm more than happy to spend time with her family. I'm interested to see how they treat me as a reflection of how Lilette may treat me when the honeymoon is over. I tell her my concerns and I counter with, I will arrive on Saturday. I will sleep there and meet your family until Monday. If everything goes well, I want us to go to Tagaytay and stay there in a hotel and have some experiences in your country alone so that I can see the real you and you can get to see the real me. She agreed to my terms under one condition. I answer her long-standing question. Does your family and close friends know about me? Therein lies the problem. I go online to a travel booking site to try and find out about a round-trip ticket from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Manila, Philippines. Now, mind you, I have traveled a lot. I know the ins and outs of airline travel and booking a stay at a hotel and sightseeing during the past 30 years, and I already have my passport. However, I am a little nervous about international travel, so I put my dates and times in the trip generator and it spits out several flights ranging from $1,750 for a 30-hour flight to $3,300 for a 21-hour flight. I end up choosing a flight that leaves Tulsa on Friday morning and lands in Manila at 10 p.m. Saturday night. You have to account for the 14-hour time change, otherwise it's a total of 24-hour flight, including layovers for customs. It is approximately 1.5 hours to Houston, change planes, and then a 15-hour flight to Seoul, South Korea. Change planes, and then one more 5-hour flight to Manila. I have never been on a plane longer than 5 hours before. I'm not sure how I'm going to pass the time. I could sleep on a plane, just not for 15 hours. Heck, I can't even sleep in a bed past 7 hours. So I book a window seat so that I can lean against the window and eliminate anybody touching me and disturbing me, all to the tune of $2,225. Now I have just one more job to do. I must explain myself to my daughter, Russ, and Mitch. They are going to beat me to death with all the typical jokes. Couldn't you find a woman here? Are you passing out green cards? What will you do when she gets here and leaves you for a younger, better-looking guy? How's the mail order bride catalog this season? I'm not looking forward to the treatment from Russ and Mitch. Furthermore, my daughter has been sitting next to me for years watching 90 Day Fiancé as we both mock all of the couples and their shortcomings. I'm sure she will be totally disappointed in me. So here goes nothing.
As Rob decided to visit and meet me in person here in the Philippines next year, March 2020. It makes me so exciting and happy. Finally, we are meeting in person. Since that I don't have an idea how to treat a foreign man or dated a foreign man. I was starting watching YouTube to get some ideas how to date a foreign man. I got a lot of ideas. It helps me a lot. I can't wait meeting him in person. I thought I was still dreaming and hopefully I will not to woke up in my dream. I feel like a star in the sky shining so brightly. My mind smiled a lot with joy. I just remember when I was a little girl in the province. That every night in our terrace, we look up the sky in the night and counting the stars 100 and make a wish. Old belief says, your wish granted. And when the stars will fall down, you will make a wish. I think, if I look up the sky with so many stars and I will make a wish. But that wish of mine is granted. I have full of joy. I told my family about Rob's upcoming visit. Some of my sisters are excited, some did not. They scared to meet a stranger and he will sleep in our house. One sister scared he will kill all of us when we sleep because they not know his character. I never think of that. I was in positive mind that he's a good man.
I am beyond the point of no return. My passport is updated. My ticket to the Philippines is paid for. My accommodations in Tagaytay are paid for. I even got a double room to help Lilette feel comfortable and trust my good intentions. It is still about 3 months from departure, but I must find a way to ease into telling everyone about this secretive relationship I have gotten myself into. I must reveal my future plans with Lilette, and more importantly, be ready for the barrage of insults and mocking that is about to be hurled my way. My circle is very small, but it is very close. So nothing is off limits in our family when it comes to life-changing decisions that seem to come out of nowhere. And honestly, as I practice my delivery, I'm wondering if I'm not making a giant mistake. My significant other picking has been a disaster here in the States, so why would I think I could go halfway across the world and pick the perfect woman for me on my first trip with 5 months of communication in the books? Face it, goof, this is ridiculous. But here goes nothing. It's evening time, and I walk into the kitchen where my daughter is prepping her dinner. We are very close. We share our thoughts and concerns with each other every day just to stay connected, and for 5 months I have kept this giant secret from her. I'm quite sure she will be devastated that I didn't keep her in the loop or that I didn't ask her advice, as this life-changing event will very much affect her life as well. I open up with, "So you know how our show 90 Day Fiancé?" She says, "Of course." I say, "Well, I've been talking to a woman from the Philippines for about 5 months, and I have bought a ticket to go visit her over spring break." She looks me dead in the eye. I cringe because I already am ashamed that I'm ruining her life, and she says, "I thought something was going on." Good for you. I hope she will be nice to you. What the heck? That's it? Well wishes? No harassment? I guess I raised her right. Russ, on the other hand, will not be so cavalier. Russ still hits me with the amount of money my divorce 15 years ago cost me just so he can end any argument he is losing. So I guess I will go take my beating. Russ comes over the next evening to use my garage and tools, and I muster the courage to walk out there as he is finishing up, and I just blurt out, "I've been on an international dating site for 5 months. I've met a really nice woman from the Philippines, and I'm going to fly there in March to meet her." I then brace for full impact. I look him in the eye to let him know I'm serious, and he smugly says, "About time." Wow. That's the best you've got? You have so much ammunition, and that's all you've got? He continues, "You have given it a real and honest effort here. I don't blame you. Hope it works out." Well, okay. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I call my brother in Ohio because he is always my voice of reason. I tell him straight out, and he says, "That's cool. I'm on another call. Talk to you later." Well, I'll be damned.
Rob finally decided to book a plane ticket last December 2019 to get ready his flight on March. Both of us are feeling happy and nervous. Every day Rob is my inspiration and my hope for a better life. I told my friend at school about Rob's upcoming visit. My friend was so happy and excited for me. I tell her, finally I'm going to meet a Kano. I'm hoping he will like me and marry me soonest. But I don't know about my eldest sister, if she's happy or scared about Rob's plan to come in the Philippines. She asked me, where does Rob stay when he arrived? How long he stayed here in the Manila? She's scared because he is a stranger. Maybe Rob will eat all our food and complain about culture, maybe he is a bad guy. I was a little upset but I said, maybe he is not like that. He has a daughter that waits him in America. He is a teacher and I'm sure if he's doing bad in our country he's going to jail. I let my sister calm down. I want them to be happy with me. And I want to be happy also. I was waited so long and this is it. I was ready meeting him in person. I prepared myself, my house, my room. But my room is not a 5-star room, no air condition. I tell him about our tradition that you have to remove your shoes in the door and leave it and many others he must follow.